Okay, this is a few days after I recorded my unboxing video, and since then I have set this up with a bunch of different titles I'll be featuring in my main review using Logitech's recommended settings. They have a page on their website, on the support site, and it gives you in-game settings and also driver settings for different games for both console and PC. I'm using their settings because they do seem to be pretty well balanced and measured, so I'm fine to go with those. You can of course tweak them further if you want to, but I think Logitech have done a pretty good job publishing this list of settings. However, it is hidden away. That's something which is odd. They don't make it that visible, so you do need to hunt around, which is why I have posted the link in the description below. One particular game which is bizarrely broken if you don't use their settings. All the other games you can do what you like with, but ACC, you do need to use their settings specifically, because the wheel angle will be completely wrong if you set the wheel angle in the driver software and the game identically as you normally would. That's a normal way of doing it. If you do it like that, it just won't match up and it'll be just really wrong. So you do need to use their strange hack. Until Logitech fix that, that's the only way to do it. It only applies to the PC one, not the console version of ACC though. Yeah, but that's a strange one because I think that's going to throw a lot of people out because it's not obvious. But anyway, once you've done that, it's okay. But moving on, let's talk about the sort of force feedback, the impression of it so far. Well, 8 Newton meters. It feels nice and powerful, and oddly, and I can't get this idea out of my head, but don't hold me to this, I do need to test this theory out, but it feels more powerful than the CSL-DD at 8 Newton meters, and I can't really explain why, but normally I would run the CSL-DD at probably like 90% in-game force feedback, 100%, you know, like 8 Newton meters in the driver, and then I reduce the force feedback strength in the game, and I'd normally run it like 90%, I expect, in Autumn Ballista 2. But here I'm running it like 70-75%, and it feels to me about the same amount of weight which the Fanatec would produce, and that's kind of odd. No, and I can't explain it, and maybe I'm slightly wrong on this, but I need to maybe like test this theory out at some point. So hold that thought. But anyway, let's talk about the force feedback, other than the torque, which, as I said, I think it's nice and strong, it feels good. The quality of the force feedback, well, there's two measures I want to talk about, because one is really good, and one is, I wouldn't say bad, but certainly more reflective of a budget entry-level wheelbase. Now, the positive side is the progressive feel, the grip feel, when I'm turning into corners, the loading up of the tyres, feeling the undulations, feeling bumps, feeling curbs, and all those sort of like low frequency, heavy effects, they are excellent. They feel really good to me. You know, I'm getting a lot of sensation from the track, and I'm finding the cars really comfortable to drive, very drivable, because the force feedback is communicating all the information I need to understand, you know, what the car's doing. So I'm enjoying this aspect, and I found immediately as soon as I got this wheelbase set up, I didn't need to really adjust to it. Now, often when I'm changing wheelbases, regardless of the quality of the wheelbase, you know, even high-end ones, there's a bit of a bedding in period, because force feedback doesn't feel the same from every wheelbase. It's all got its own kind of texture, flavour, nuance to it. It's all slightly different, and you do have to get used to it, because you have to, if you're driving with a feel of the force feedback like I do, then sometimes you can drive a little bit kind of slightly out of sync with what the car's doing if you're not used to the flavour of that force feedback. And that's not to say they're doing anything wrong. It's just the fact is wheelbases feel different slightly, and it's enough to throw you out until you've just adjusted to it, and once you've got past that, it just feels normal and natural. But with this wheelbase, as soon as I got it set up, I was perfectly happy with it. I was just like, running laps, and I was driving cars, and it just felt normal. It felt natural. I felt really well connected with the cars, and that was really, very pleasant start to, to my, to this journey with this wheelbase. I just know what the car's doing. I can feel the loading up. I can feel the, the suspension of the car, and I'm reacting, to it intuitively, instinctively, as I would do with any direct drive wheelbase. So I'm really finding, the measure of the weight, the feeling of the force feedback cues, the way they're being delivered is absolutely fantastic. So that's the low frequency effects. Now where it is weaker is high frequency effects. Now that is the sort of granular texture of the track, the finer sort of details, where what I can feel through here is a rumble through the wheel from the track, but it certainly feels slightly rougher than it does with higher end wheelbases I've used. So you get that kind of hum, you get that sort of ambient hum from the track, but it does feel like a rougher texture than it does through a more premium wheelbase, where everything feels more granular, and you're going to feel a little bit more of those effects coming through, these tiny kind of like, subtle effects that can come through those high frequency effects, where here it just feels like a general kind of rumble, through the wheel. And it's not unpleasant, and it certainly doesn't make cars less drivable, and I am feeling all the right effects that do help me understand how much grip I have. So that's the main thing. It's doing all what it needs to in the right areas, and I'm really pleased with that, because I'm actually enjoying the feeling, the force feedback, and enjoying the driving experience. So yeah, everything is just really nice with this wheelbase. I have to say, I really can't think of anything bad to say about it. There's a few bits I need to cover about the software, and the wheelbase menus and other sort of bits and pieces. Lots of stuff to cover. This is obviously an early impression, is just the usability of the wheel. There's other sort of things to talk about. I need to test it on my PlayStation. This is the PlayStation PC version, not just the PC version. I decided to get a little bit slightly more expensive one, so I can test it on console too. I haven't tested that yet, so I don't know what it's like on my PlayStation 5 Pro. But on my PC, so far it's doing a really, really, good job. And it just feels really good. I've tested it with a bunch of different cars, and I'll go through more detail about that in the review, because different cars drive differently. Like cars which are a little bit more sensitive to throttle oversteer, catching slides, and stuff like that. This is an easy car to drive, which is why I do like using it for these drive and talks, because it's less stressful, and it's hard to mess it up. So yeah, not the best demonstration really of the quality of any wheelbase, to be fair, but it does allow me to at least give you one of these early impressions videos, and it allows me to drive with a little bit of consistency. But yeah, it feels nice. I really am having a great time with this wheelbase. Okay, well there you go. That's an early impressions video. Lots of things I haven't covered yet, so do stay tuned for my main review. And you can obviously drop questions below if you want to ask me something. I will pick it up there. But that's it for this one, guys. Thanks very much for watching, and thank you very much to all the channel members. I do appreciate your support, helping me keep this channel alive. So yeah, take care, guys. I'll see you in the next one. And until then, happy simming, and bye-bye.